What's up, you dumb fart butts? Back with another video talking about SEO and blogging. There's a few things I want to show you and maybe do a little bit of rant and get your thoughts on some of this insanity that's going on. Look, the Google update's been super boring. It's just been super boring, and it's been super wrong. They started out, they rolled this thing out, and they said a bunch of you are getting manually penalized. And then they realized very quickly they made some mistakes there, and they were like, oh, we're going to manually unpenalize a bunch of you. And then they promised a bunch of volatility, and there hasn't been a bunch of volatility. It's actually been super boring. So the whole thing really hasn't made very much sense. I don't know what they're doing. Now, I do think there's a possibility that that volatility actually hits after the update's done rolling out. But right now, it's just been like, it seems like everything they said just didn't really pan out. Like, none of it's been right so far. Shocker. Okay. So that's my rant about the Google update. Look, if you don't know, my name's Rob. I'm just some idiot that likes talking about blogging and SEO. I may or may not actually know what I'm talking about. I just like talking about it. So if you enjoy the conversation of those things, hit subscribe if you... hey, and by the way, I am not handsome. Somebody mentioned on my last video they didn't like me calling myself handsome. So absolutely not handsome. I am not sexy. I am not a daddy. I'm just an idiot who likes talking about blogging and SEO. So hit subscribe if you haven't already. So let me actually show you a couple things. Not handsome. I want to really hit on that very hard. Somebody didn't like that. Let me actually show you what's cooking on my site right here. Actually, start with analytics. This number continues to be... Oh, cool. It just went to 0. That was perfect timing. Thank you, analytics. This number basically hops between 0 and 6. Before the HCU last year, the floor was 25. So that's going really well. Let's look at the Ahrefs dashboard. The top 3 is now down to 2. It used to be over 1,000, and now it's 2. Not 2,000, just 2. Going really well there. Let's look at the GSC. I was hovering, 1,400 clicks a day, 1,800 a day. I am now kissing the floor at, I had 18 the other day. Again, things are really going very well for me. Here's what I want to really kind of get to, though. And by the way, I'm really not too down about stuff. Like, it is what it is. I'm doing the best that I can with it. Maybe I'm down a little bit. I've shown you guys this several times. This is my Ahrefs most recent keyword changes, and I filter it by the most recent, right? And so you can see here, I've talked about this, I'm always looking at the change column, and I'm looking for patterns here, red or green. You can obviously see it's a ton of red. But something caught my eye the other day. This is the first time that this has happened to me. There is this one, best electric shaker bottle, but there's another one similar down here, best electric shaker or protein bottle. There's a couple of keywords here. I'm actually going to open up these SERPs. And by the way, let me actually do a comparison of what this looked like before the HCU, or actually this is right after the HCU, but very quickly. Look, I'm number 3, but I was number 1. I dropped 75 spots from this particular position. This one dropped 9, this one dropped 2. This one came up some. What else came up here? YouTube came up some. So I got totally ripped on this one, but here's what I actually want to show you. Sorry, let me open that back up. This is an error on Ahrefs' part. That site is fine. I want to look at this one. Ranking number 10. The best electric protein shaker, healthy life. Your tips.wordpress.com, which 0 DR, 0 UR, 0 backlinks. Ranking number 10 for both of those keywords that I just showed you. Well, it must have great content. That must be one hell of an article. Let's actually take a look at it. Here it is here. This is the healthy life goals, and it is indeed healthytips.wordpress.com. Written in August 27, 2022. Let's actually scroll down. What's the best electric shaker? Okay, and I'm looking through this article thinking like, well, why is Google ranking this? Why is it beating me? Let me see if I can figure it out. And I start reading through this, and I think, man, this is starting to sound very familiar. Like this part, most colorful and best shaker bottle with the best lighting. I was like, man, that sounds very familiar to me. And I also did 8 whenever I first wrote the article, 8 of these cups. And I go down here, the Pro Mix, number 2. Well, that's exactly what I put at number 2 whenever I wrote it. And mine actually said something about a bonus. And then I realized this article stole my article. Here's mine. This is the Wayback Machine. I wrote this in February 3rd, 2022. So 6 months prior to the other one getting written. Let's actually scroll down here just a little bit. Oh, the most colorful and best shaker with the best lighting. Oh, an electric shaker with a little bonus. They ranked the exact same ones that I ranked. Now look, this was like one of my very first articles that I wrote on my site. So aesthetically, it needed some work, but that didn't stop them from taking the content from it. Now they didn't take any of the pictures. They just took the content and rewrote most of it for their own thing here. That's the first time I've actually had that happen where they've taken something like this. I wonder if they even look. I put locking. It says extra locking. Did I put my locking in parentheses? Let's see. With locking, did I do? Oh, it sure did. I even put more. Okay. So look, that stuff's gonna happen. It is what it is. This website has like, I'm not even sure what's going on with it. It's got maybe 10 articles total. I mean, it's just got, if you do blog, it's just got a few here that's gonna roll. I mean, I don't know if any of these other ones are taken. I should actually check that one because I also had an article for that. I'll check that one later. I don't know if that's the 6 Mac is the most coveted. That doesn't sound like something that I would write. No. So I don't know what's going on with this site, but it's ranking number 10. It beat me. It's beat me on multiple of these keywords. In fact, if we actually take that particular site, let's do this for fun. Let's take it over to Ahrefs and pop it in here and see how it's performing. And what we're going to see here, because I did this yesterday, is that this update seems to like this site. Look, here's the update, and it's starting to get some traction. It got nothing for the last several years. Now, look, there's stuff that's going to slip through the cracks. I understand that completely. Like, it's not going to hit everything that it needs to hit. And there's some things that are going to get hit that shouldn't get hit. I totally understand that. But when we start talking about minute things like, well, your website looks like this, it's not a great user experience, so it got de-escalated or de-ranked, or you have a weird something on your website, the aesthetics, the look, it's not a great experience, etc. That all might be valid, but like, it's nuanced, right? How does Google know that stuff? I mean, outside of metrics, it's not looking at something going, ooh, it's ugly, right? It's studying some metrics on the back end. But like something like this, when you have a WordPress.com in the URL, you can see that nothing's been written in a couple of years, right? You can see that it has been blatantly ripped from one article to the next. If you have all this data, like, how do you not see that stuff? And I've actually seen there was somebody else on X that had it even worse, where they took pictures of him and his wife. It was a travel blog, and used the pictures of him and his wife on the other sites. That were, like, that just seems inexcusable to me. And that goes back to something that was said on X by one of the Google reps. I'm not going to say who, because I actually like this person. They said, well, yeah, the algorithm isn't perfect. Like, that's not what this is. This isn't a matter of something being imperfect. This is a matter of something being bad. Like, that's wrong. That it can't detect those types of things. So, anyways, it was a little bit of aggravation, but I've never had something stolen. Maybe I should take it as a, what would you call that? If somebody, a flattering thing. I don't know. But anyways, that's what I wanted to show you guys. I'm curious your thoughts on this. There's the website. Feel free to go check it out if you want. There's my ugly website. There's my ugly face there at the top of it. They didn't steal any pictures of my face. Maybe that was for the better of their, maybe that's why Google likes them so much, is because my face isn't on it. But I'm curious you guys' thoughts. What's going on with this update? What are you guys feeling about this update at this point? I think Google has generally lost trust in the SEO community, at least the niche site community. There's still a decent amount of people that are vouching for Google. And I said this on X. I don't think these are apologists. I think there are people that are just unbiased. And a lot of times, just kind of saying what they're saying without, did I lose or gain traffic? And I think that's totally fine. There is a certain sector of the SEO community that seems to be defending Google, but also at the same time somehow bragging that their websites and their clients are doing better. I have a theory that they are doing that because their website has slipped through the cracks. And I would put out there for consumption and for thought that perhaps some people are misunderstanding the difference between slipping through the cracks and actually being rewarded for doing the right thing. Those two are not necessarily the same thing. Anyways, just some late night rambling for you guys. I appreciate all of the comments and the conversation. I appreciate you guys allowing me to be an idiot and just say what I'm seeing. So that's it. Thanks you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Peace. Not handsome out.